What are we gonna do today?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Is it beer time?
I don't have any beer.
You don't have any beer?
Guess I'm making beer.
Today we're going to show you how we do some all grain brewing. Very simple. What I'm going to make today is my Black Bear IPA. It is a specialty IPA, jet black. The IBUs are around the 65 mark and it's going to be tasty. First step is you got to have a beer. You can't brew without a beer. Okay, so I have all my grains here. Most of the time I pick up my grains from OBK, Ontario Beer Kegs, or beergrains.ca. And we go and throw them in here, grind them up, break them down. And this is just a Victorian hand grinder. And I built a little rack for it so everything just falls down into a bucket as I grind. So that's nice and simple. Okay, we just finished grinding all the grains. We took all the grains and we threw them in this cooler here. And what we do in this cooler is I make a mash. So the mash is all the grains mixed in with water. You can make your recipe and you figure out how much water you need. So we fill up the pot with water, the amount of water that we require. Bring it up. The mash has to be at 67 degrees Celsius or 152 degrees Fahrenheit. So I usually bring it up about 3-4 degrees higher than that because especially in the winter time and I'm outside, when I dump that into the mash bin, the cooler, I know I'm gonna lose some heat. So I bring it up to usually about 100, usually up to about 71 degrees Celsius, and I'm expecting to drop about 3-4 degrees to get down to that 68, 67 preferably. And we put all that water into the grains, mix it around, and that has created our mash. Now that sits there and rests for the next hour to 90 minutes. After that, we then open it up, bring it back into the pot, and we're gonna start our boil. This is where we're gonna add our hops at different stages within the boil. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. Once it has its hot break, it's called, once it starts boiling, that is when we're gonna start adding our hop additions.
Ooh.
So we just got to drain it here. I do a little bit of a hybrid of a boil in a bag style. We'll have this bag hung up here over top of it, and it just allows it to really drain, and I don't lose as much then.
Burr. So Ben's got his own hops along the chicken coop fence. He put a vine there and they've taken off and they cover a good amount of the chicken coop, so it provides shade for them, and then at the end of the season he harvests the hops.
So I built this I got this from a friend of mine, Mr. Roberts. Just a hole drilled in here with a hose. It's got a little filter on the other side. Allows the liquid to come out without actually having all the grain and everything come as well. Plus that's what the bag assists in. So we'll let most of it drain out into the pot, and then I'll lift the bag and the rest of it will slowly drip into here as we bring it up to temp.
while we wait, I think I'm just gonna sneak inside and finish Ben's beer.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, sorry. That's why I was coming to give it to you.
Thermometer back in. We need to cool this down to room temperature so that the yeast can do what it needs to do. So what I do is basically I just fill this laundry tub full of snow and then run water in it, and we make a big slush ice bath. And it should cool down in about 30 minutes or less. So now we'll put it in the carboy. I'm not a huge fan of using carboys, but I prefer to use the primary fermenters. But I got my wine sitting in that one right now. Yeast has been added. We'll start fermenting in the next day or so, and that's it. Brew day complete. We're now sitting at about 1060, and it was supposed to be around the 1064 mark, but our volume's a little high compared to what we estimated anyway, so it's all balanced in the end. So that's the Black Bear IPA.
It's time for a drink of beer? Or some supper? Or some beer? No? You wanna know what gets Ben really excited? I'm not talking about fishing. I'm talking about making beer. Oh no, my thumb's in it again. It wasn't silent.